Hi, my name is Noah.
Hi, and I'm Noah's dad. We're coming to you today for our first live broadcast for our Noah and Dad games. We made some changes. We saw the introduction, and it was okay, but we wanted to make some changes in terms of things like the lighting and how we were sitting together. And we wanted you people to be able to see Noah and not just his head floating in the shot. So we wanted to make some changes to make this just a little bit nicer, maybe a little bit more professional, even though we're pretty much amateurs, right, right, Noah? So we'll get better. We'll hopefully get better as the podcast goes along, or the broadcast. Sorry, I know it's not really a podcast, but anyway. So without further ado, what are we going to be doing today, Noah?
We're gonna be doing Plague Incorporated and the Pandemic game.
Right. So it's one video game and one board game.
Yeah.
So these are some of our favorite games. We've been playing both of these games for a long time.
Yeah.
We played the Pandemic game when Noah was really little, and I think his older younger sister was just a baby. So we've been playing that for a long time. So yeah. So
let's start by playing Plague Incorporated.
So this is Plague Incorporated. This is our game that we really enjoy, and it looks like that they've added something else. This is something that we've never seen before, isn't it, Noah? It's the Shadow Plague. I've never seen this one. So it's a sentient mutagenic pathogen that triggers a powerful thirst for blood in its chosen host. Oh my goodness. So there's vampires now too. That's incredible. All right. So let's walk you through this. I would say, unlike some of the people that you will see on YouTube that are experts in playing these games and are showing you these to sort of show off their game's skills, you may be assured, gentle listener, that Noah and I are no experts. We did beat a few of these levels, but it was mostly just trial and error that allowed us to do that. So let's start off with something easy. So you can do things like bacteria, and viruses, and fungus, and some of these are things that don't exist, like Mirax worms is not a thing. But parasites, prions are things. Hopefully there's no zombie viruses. I've never heard of this before. But there are some interesting things in there. And so we're going to start off with something easy. We're going to start off with a bacteria. That was the first level, and it's the first one that we played and the first one that we beat. And there's some genetic codes that you can put in here. And so you can put in things that say things like ATP boost. Well, these things don't really bear any resemblance to reality, but that's okay. And we could do Darwinist, genetic mimic. That's a good one. Or we can mutate transmissions, which we do, Noah.
Let's do the first one.
You want to do Darwinist? You want to increase the chances of mutation, okay? And then we haven't beaten enough levels to get all of these, and so we can spread by land, and we can do hot and dry, or land and dry, right? And then what else can we do here? Bonus DNA with evolving. Oh, that's a nice one. Let's do that. Okay, so we can only keep the mutations that we want. All right, so I think we're ready to go here. And usually we play on the normal level. That's usually what we do here. And the descriptions are really funny. So it says it says no one washes their hands. Yuck. Research doctors don't work. It's a good gig if you can get it. And then sick people given hugs, which is not advised. Noah and I we take our cues from our colleagues at the CDC, right?
Yeah.
And we definitely agree that social distancing and people are sick is a good thing, and washing your hands is a good thing. So,
but if you're sick, do not hug.
Yes, that is exactly right, Noah. If you're sick, then let's stay away. And then normal is maybe a bit more. That's probably 2/3 of people wash their hands. That's probably about right. Doctors work 3 days a week. Yeah, that'd be nice. And then sick people are ignored. So then there's brutal, compulsive hand washing. That doctors never go home. Sick people locked in prison. Yikes. So genetic drift impacts. Wow, doctors invest in research. Well, sometimes that happens. Okay, so we're gonna play on normal because like I said before, I'm not. Even though we enjoy these games, know what I do. We've got a busy life outside of our gaming, and so we don't get a lot of practice in, and so we're not the best gamers. So we're gonna call this Noah and Dad Pox. Yeah, that's good. All right, forgive the misspellings. All right. All right, so you're a new bacteria. We must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all the humans.
Okay, where do I want to pick? Where do I want to pick? Let's pick right.
So we want to start at Russia? Okay. All right. Russia is not the natural choice, but Noah tends to go a little more. He tends to be a little bit more maverick when it comes to selection lists. I tend to be a little more creature of habit. I tend to start in places where the population is very dense, and where maybe the social services aren't as good. I tend to be places like India. Nothing at all against our Indian friends, but I think we can all agree that it's a pretty densely packed community. Social services are a little difference there, so it's a fertile ground for diseases and breeding. Oh, the gorilla. So yeah, it's there's some little news articles in here that are kind of fun. They're a little dated at this point, and I have to think back. I have to think back a couple of years to the news headline. This is that gorilla. This is a tragic episode. So this is kind of what we do. We're going to speed this up a little bit because we're not really going to. I don't think we're probably going to go through the whole spiel here. Yeah. So this is some transmissions. These are all the ways we can transmit. These are all the ways. Oh, Noah wants it to be spread by livestock. What about by birds? Birds and mosquitoes. Yeah, you bet. All right. So we've spent some of our disease DNA over here, and we're clicking these little helices. One of the objects of the game here, I'm going to interrupt my previous explanation. One of the objects of the game here is that you do have to, you really want the disease to be kind of invisible. You want people not to notice it for a long, long, long time, kind of until most of the world is infected. And so we're not going to do that, even though we won't probably do that strategy. This is more just to show our audience what this is about. So we're getting some energy here. Oh yeah, now we're starting to spread. This is what happens. Is you gotta be ready for this. You can't leave and go make popcorn or grab a soda or anything like that. Come back and all of a sudden Finland's got Noah Dad Pox. That is a bad day. All right. See, there we go. So, on a normal checkup, Dr. Maria found a new disease up here named Noah Dad Pox. Appears to be mostly harmless. Well, not for very long. Not for very long. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it spread by rodents and air and water. So, we're doubling down on making it a little easier to spread. We've got hemophilia and anemia. So people are bleeding more, and they have fewer red blood cells. So it's not so good. It's a problematic combination. And then they're also getting a rash. So what else do we want? I found, Noah, and I'm interested in your thoughts. I found that if you start evolving some of the lung symptoms, the heart symptoms, people start dropping like flies. All right. Whoa is right. See, look all over here. So all
Russia
over.
is really big.
Yeah.
Now
Now we got it. This is not good. See, this is why, guys, you can't just go make popcorn. Yeah. It sure is.
Got the meter over there.
Yeah.
Let the people infect.
I know. always that's always a tough one. So Greenland and what else? What other places do we have trouble with?
Iceland.
Iceland, we do have trouble with that one. You know, just like it is in reality, not a whole lot of people are here for Iceland. You don't always have a big airplane full of coffee people that are bleeding from their eyeballs that are ready to go to Iceland. So,
We almost got all of Iceland.
hey Noah, did you know that we can now fly directly to Iceland from here in Kansas City? No, it's awesome. Iceland's a nice place.
We almost got Iceland. Almost got Iceland.
Yeah, we did. Okay. So, yep, you're right. So this is, we just get to go through these props. There's a lot of vomiting. Now people are throwing up. That's nasty. Oh my goodness, Noah, hey, I'm gonna pause this because I just realized we've got almost 200 points.
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's go buy everything.
Well, let's go buy everything. So I want some drug resistance. Yep, I want that. I want some heat resistance. I want some cold resistance. Still got a bunch of things to do. Yeah, we can do that. And so remember what I said before about the lung findings. Definitely want to get some pneumonia here, pulmonary edema, pulmonary fibrosis. That's never good. Some total organ failure. Oh man.
That's horrible.
And coma. That's the bad stuff. Immune suppression, sure. Take that. Paralysis, systemic infection. I suppose that if you've gone this far, you're already systemic.
Dad.
I know. Oh yeah, let's get diarrhea. Oh man, all right. Hey, we'll try to keep it. We're trying to keep it at least PG, guys. We'll try to keep it appropriate for all watchers here. But sometimes you just gotta get some diarrhea. Yeah. Normal life in the Balkans. All right. Well, it's in southeastern Europe. So yeah, this is not going well for. I don't know, Noah. Maybe we will actually get. We got tumors now. All right. Well, let's mutate everything else. Let's just get dysentery, insanity. I guess I wasn't really aware that was really involved, but I'm playing along. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And yeah. I think the problem we're running into, I think we're gonna just burn it out. Because if you look at this, our new infections are increasing slowly, but people are dying at a rate. So I think that's the problem we're going to run into, is people burn out our infection. We'll get everybody. And that happens sometimes. If the World Health Organization doesn't fix it before you get to it, then sometimes you kind of burn out your own infection. And that can be a problem. So it looks like the world is going to survive Noah and Dad talks, although very different world. Very different world. Oh, here. Okay. Well, never mind. No, not good. It's not good. It's a little dark. There's some things in this game that get really dark. We tend to not read those. Okay. So the world is going to survive Noah Cox. Not the whole world.
Maybe all of Russia wants.
Yeah. So if you're in Poland, got a lot of Germany, not doing too well. U.S. Some people left. Canada, some people left. Iceland, Greenland, you're done. UK, sorry, you're done. Scandinavia, too good.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, there's some places that seems to be so at least a few enclaves were survived. Australia, there's a few people. New Zealand, New Zealand, that's where we're going. Noah, that's where we're bugging out to. Things go haywire, right? So we'll smolder along like this for a little while. There we go, and then we're gonna have all these. So, all right. So we're gonna put the main menu. So yes, we definitely.
Let's do the vampire one.
Well, we're just gonna introduce everybody to the vampire one. We've already been I've been rattling on for about 13 minutes now, Noah, if you believe it. Time flies when you're having fun, right? That's Shadow Plague. All right. So we're gonna do. Ooh, we don't have any of those. We don't have any of those. We don't have any of those. All right. Well, we're coming to this as rookies into the year. So Nocturnus. That's comforting. Oh dear. Okay. So what are we doing here? We are gonna do. Let's start in France. Oh my goodness. The Vampire Rises in France. And I think isn't this the one? Oh, you have these little. So you're kind of seeing this as we're seeing this, dear listener, because we don't really know much about this. So, but apparently this vampire has been doing things that vampires do.
Bite people.
Bite people. So I guess this is what the teeth look like and the brain looks like now. So Shadow Blessing. I don't know if we want to do that quite yet. So we got Blood Rage. Oh, okay. Lair. Don't we want a lair first? I kind of feel like a lair is a good thing to have. Kind of like where we're broadcasting from, which is sort of our lair right now.
Yep.
And if we want to go, we want to be a bat, and I want to be a night raid, and then we'll come back to Blood Rage. I feel like we'll come back to this. All right. And so this is sort of the waiting game. Sometimes you do wait, regenerate some of your energy.
This one happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't think I know. So maybe we'll come. Maybe this is the one that we'll come back to. I think we should. I actually think it would be a good idea for us to do another. We'll do another episode where after we've had a chance to play this one, because you're kind of seeing this as we are, because we really had a chance to play around with this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put the main menu at this point. So that's Plague Incorporated. So what do we like about this, Noah?
I think it was scary, totally scary.
Uh-huh.
It was scary. It was a fun game.
Uh-huh.
We got to, not trying to be mean to the people in all of the world in the game. Not trying to be mean from our last one.
Uh-huh.
From the last one before the vampire one.
All right.
All the people in Scandinavia and all those people there, we are so sorry in the game. We killed you.
Yeah, we did.
And
Okay, so that's what we like about the game. Okay. So Noah, what don't you like about Plague Incorporated?
when at night we were playing the vampire, it was pretty scary about that.
Uh-huh.
And I was kind of freaked out about the noises.
Okay.
And all that.
So it's scary when you're playing by yourself at night.
Well, I was with you.
Well, okay, yeah, that's true. So so some parts of the game are a little creepy. That's true,
Yeah.
and I think that's intended. So I agree. I think there are some things that are kind of scary, kind of creepy. I would say I think the parts like the virus and the bacteria, the things that are a little more realistic, I think are really neat and very well done. But I think some of the fictional things,
Like the Nerdiac worm.
like the Nurax worm, or like the zombie virus, or things like that, things that don't exist.
The vampire.
Yeah, what they did is they put some extra things that you have to do, and so what I felt like there was a little bit of a learning curve on that, and I didn't find them as fun. Maybe other players will disagree, and that's fine, but I didn't find it as fun as just the regular levels. So yeah, but overall I would say, how many stars out of 5 would we give Plague Incorporated?
4.5.
4.5 stars. I agree. 4.5 stars. We really like Plague Incorporated. It's one of our favorite games, and it's one that we come back to again and again. Very good. So we're going to talk about a board game. We've already talked about a video game today, Noah, and we're going to talk about a board game that we like. Which board game are we going to talk about?
Pandemic.
Pandemic. So for those of you who haven't played Pandemic, definitely check it out. So Pandemic is a game that was as a board game that Noah and I found at we saw it at the bookstore.
Yep.
And it was one that we knew that we were gonna like. So it's a pretty intricate game. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of things to learn. So here's all the instructions for Pandemic. So right here. And just introducing you to the board, because the board is what is the board, Noah? What does it look like?
It looks like the board on the game.
Well, I know, but what does the board look like? So what does the board look like, Noah?
It looks like the world.
Yeah, it looks like a map projection of the world.
Yeah.
And so could you tell our listeners a little bit about what the object of the game is?
So the object of the game is to cure all the bacteria.
Yeah.
Like
So there's 4 different diseases, right? And do you remember what colors that are?
There's blue, yellow, red, and black.
Exactly. That's right. So there's a few different colored pieces.
I'll show you.
Oh yeah. Show everybody. There's a few colored pieces that you could use to represent these, and it's kind of the opposite of Plague Incorporated. Instead of trying to infect people, you're trying to cure people, and so so it's different colored bacteria or viruses, infections, and that you're trying to cure, and they're all in one area of the world or another, and so you are a team. So you're number one, you're trying to cure instead of trying to infect everybody, and then number 2. You're also trying to work with your friends or in this case family to fix these, and in addition to just the fact that you're kind of moving around trying to cure these infection, everybody has a role, which I think is kind of cool. So everybody has a skill that gives. So the dispatcher, you can move a player's pawn as if it were your own.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. So some of these are pretty good, and some of them are not so good. But everybody has a role, and you're playing with your family members, and so that's the idea, is that everybody kind of has their own role that they know what to do. And sorry, we got a new camera, didn't we, Noah, for this broadcasting, and we're still learning a little bit about how to use it, and so it went blurry on us, and I think it was because I was holding cards up to the screen. But we're still learning on how to use our camera, but we'll get better and better, we hope. So that's Pandemic. And so what did we like about Pandemic? Like what was our favorite part of this?
So I can't tell.
Okay.
I can't tell.
Well, tell me more. So what things did you like about the game overall? What did you think was a strong point of it?
I liked that they had cards instead of like all those like junky pieces.
Oh, okay.
All those sorts.
So you like the fact that there were some cards involved and not just plastic pieces?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think that's good.
It can easily get lost.
Yeah, that's true. Especially when we've got lots of little people around here. You know what I liked about it is I felt like when we first played it, I felt like you and I kind of really got into the story, right? And so it was a really engaging story.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty exciting those first couple times you played it. So that's what we liked about it. What didn't you like about Pandemic?
It's not that exciting.
Okay, all right. It's a slower paced game. That's true. And I think maybe what you mean is this is a game we really enjoy, but we don't play it as much anymore because we've already played it a number of times. And so I think that
I have like stuff after school stuff and all of that.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I guess what I think about it, Noah, and tell me what you think. But it's a game that you can play a few times and it still maintains a level of excitement. But then once you play that game a few times, that level of excitement kind of goes away. So it's a game that you can play a few times, but then you sort of learn how it works, and some of the challenges a little gone, and then you kind of move on to other things. Now the makers of this game, I think, understood that, And I know that there are some expansions. I don't know if you knew about that, Noah. There's some expansions that expand the game a little bit, and I think in some cases even change the way the game is played and what the winning losing strategy is. And so I think they're trying to keep it fresh and keep it exciting, which is good. But I think overall this is a game we really enjoyed. So Noah, what would you give this game?
I'm gonna give like a 3 stars.
Oh, just 3 stars, huh?
Mhm.
Okay, well I'll give it 4. I like the game. I think it's a very well designed game. I think it's a very enjoyable game, and it just even a really good game you can't you can't play it forever. So I would still give it 4 stars. So good. So Noah, we talked about our games for today. Do you have a joke?
Oh yeah. Okay, so where does Santa go for summer?
I don't know. Where does Santa go for
Santa Fe.
He'll be here all week. So that's what we're gonna do. I think this is gonna be one of our segments, right? It's gonna be just the Noah joke of the day. Yeah, I think. So Noah's got some pretty good jokes, and I've got some dad jokes. So some of my jokes are real stinkers.
Boom!
Boom! Dad joke. So we're gonna do Noah joke of the day. So that's it for today. We are going to post this on YouTube, and hopefully we will have a couple of other games that we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. Next weekend we probably won't have a time to record because Noah is going to be where? Are you going to be at your grandparents' house, right?
Yeah.
So Noah won't even be here to record, and so we'll catch up the week before. So we'll probably record on the 24th is I think when we're going to record, and Noah and I will decide what games we want to play or what we want to show you. And I think we might or might not stay with the current format of doing one video game and one non-video game. We'll see what works. But we did see a game that we have not played yet that we're really interested in, right, Noah?
Yeah.
Remember what that game was?
Roblox.
Well, not Roblox. What do we see today? What game do we see today at the store?
Oh, Exploding Kittens.
Exploding Kittens. So we thought that looked like kind of a fun game. So we might go ahead and do that game at some point. I don't know if it'll be next, but we'll do it at some point. So that wraps it up for today.
Yeah. Thank you for watching our video. We will see you next time.
All right. Goodbye.